All right here in the studio, we have a member of the All Progressives Congress, Segun Tomori, joining us right now for more discussion on this. Good morning and thank you for joining Daybreak.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
All right, so first of all, would you say the consensus is a desirable option, considering that some of these aspirants, in the APC have already been screened out already?
Yeah, consensus remains an option, in the APC constitution. For electing a flag bearer or for, intra-party elective positions. You can see that happened at the convention that brought in the NWC. So you use a consensus would be desirable if all the aspirants agree. And in the spirit of the new Electoral Act, if all the aspirants agree to a particular person and they sign off on it, then it becomes, it can play out. But in a situation in which even just one does not agree, you have to go into the field. And we have, I think we are supposed to start today, preparations start today. The convention proper is tomorrow. I think we've run out of time for consensus. So we're going to be going to a elective convention tomorrow. So I think that's what will play out finally.
Do you think that the doors are closed for consensus? Because as they say, even a day could be days in politics. I mean, even an hour could be like days in politics. Don't you see that there could be last-minute alignments that can change the game?
Well, I don't rule that out. Last-minute alignments, last-minute permutations can also give us consensus. But I feel that we should enrich the democratic process. We should have a level playing field. I don't want a situation in which one person or the other will say, if I had gone into the convention, if I had gone into the elective convention, I would have won. So in that situation, except, like I said, except we are able to build that consensus today, before the end of the day, then, we can also say, let's throw it open. What I expect, what I'm anticipating is that before the end of the day, we might not have more than 2 or 3, aspirants going into the convention. So that makes it more manageable than having maybe 13 or 15 or I don't know how many aspirants we have at the moment. So before the end of the day, I expect that, most of the aspirants, maybe step down for, the leading aspirants and all that, so we can have a manageable number going into the convention. But we cannot rule anything out. In politics, you can't rule anything out. So we cannot say that we are foreclosing convention as in consensus today. So let's see how it plays out. Like you said, one high is a long time in politics.
Yes, but you just talked about not ruling it out, considering that, right now we actually have a few people who are still adamant, saying they're not going to step down. And some people would actually say that, it's a little too late, considering that they've actually spent, so much emotional and financial investment in their aspirations. So why would you tell them to, step down for someone? They would want like a fair fight.
Well, yeah, that's why I said that it depends on the individual aspirant. I don't speak for them, so I believe that, okay, fair contest will be appropriate. I believe that it will make the party stronger. I believe that when you go into a fair contest and you win or you lose honorably, you'd support and back the candidate that emerges credibly emerges. But you never can tell. The aspirant might look and say, oh, this person is a unifying factor in the party. This person is somebody that is formidable enough for me to support. And you cannot question that decision. So it's for them to make that decision. We have less than 24 hours to kickstart the convention. So anything they do, we are ready. The party is ready. And what is paramount is that we're going to bequeath a free, fair, and credible process that will elect the APC presidential flag bearer. That's what I can assure you.
But Segun, are you confident that your party will come out of this intact? Because there have been a lot of permutations that, considering the high level of emotions and the high stakes in run up to the primary, and that the party could actually implode.
Absolutely, I think we'll come out stronger. And if you look at the events of the last 48 hours, you see that I think on Saturday, Northern governors, issued a statement throwing their weight behind power shift to the south. I think that's part of the internal mechanism of the APC, you know, to look at the country, put the country first, put the unity of the country first. And we should commend the northern governors, you know, for that, because after a lot of us, a lot of party stakeholders, majority, preponderance of party stakeholders believe that after 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, you know, it should come to the south. And I think it was gracious for them. It was statesmanly for them to rise above primordial considerations, rise above regional considerations, and even rise above, you know, what the opposition party did to say, let's look at the unity of the country. Let's look at how we can, you know, continue, you know, the balancing, you know, power the way we've been doing since 1999. And they did that and said they concede power to. So that's the first step. So I'm just saying that to allude to the fact that we have internal mechanism to ensure that the party comes out stronger from the national convention.
But, you know, the northern governors throwing their weight, you know, on a southern candidate, is that as good as zoning? Because you have a lot of these candidates saying that you can't start to talk about zoning after spending 100 million naira on these forms. That's the, you know, expression of interest form and the candidate.
Who said so? Who said so?
According to reports.
Oh, reports? Yes. That's vague. You know, I know that after the northern governor's position, I know that Governor Badru of Jigawa State has stepped down. I think we have 2 or 3 more northern, you know, frontline aspirants, you know, and we still have today. So I expect that they'll toe the line of the mood of the majority in their region, because if you go into the convention, you need votes to win. So if your governors, you know, maybe like 95% of your governors are saying, we are going this way, you stand no chance, except you just want to go for a circus show at the convention. So I expect that sane reasoning will prevail before tomorrow, and we'll see, even if they don't step down, they are welcome into the context. They'll be beating blue-black. Thank you.
You spoke of the party, I mean, of the opposition party, and that reminds me, you know, in the aftermath of the PDP convention, a lot of pundits believe that the APC, your party, is pushed into a tight corner, as in getting a candidate who can fit the bill, who can stand shoulder to shoulder with the PDP's candidate. Who in the South could actually, do you have, because you are not talking of narrowing it to the South, who could actually fit the bill for an Atiku Abubakar ticket?
You know, Atiku Abubakar has been the serial contestant for the office of the president. His candidacy is a flawed candidacy. Nigerians know what Atiku Abubakar stands for. They know he has nothing fresh to offer. You know, they've seen...
Well, can you talk about your own...
Yeah, so we think Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, you know, is a leading candidate, you know, that would be able to match Atiku, you know, network for network, people for people, you know, across the country, across the geopolitical zones. Asiwaju Tinubu has built a wide network of support, of influence, of supporters over the past 3 decades. Don't forget, he was a senator in 1992. You know, he was a prime mover of the pro-democracy movement, the National Democratic Coalition of that era, fighting for democracy. We've seen, Nigerians remember, and we'll make Nigerians remember when we get into the campaign, when he wins the presidential ticket of the party tomorrow. We'll make Nigerians remember that his life has been a life of service to the nation, selflessness, you know, sacrifice, you know, to build a viral democracy in this country. You know, I don't think among any other aspirant, all the aspirants put together, I don't think there's somebody like Asiwaju Tinubu that has given his all, you know, for the enthronement of democracy and progressive governance in this country. I think that is key. You know, at the point in this country, a party boasted that they will rule for 60 years. And they were already going to rule for 60 years. You know, we had the initiative of Asiwaju Tinubu, you know, galvanizing, coalescing, you know, a coalition that uprooted them after 16 years in power. He was a prime mover of that movement, you know, bringing people together. And we had the first successful merger in the history of this country. You know, so looking at his sacrifices, I think a lot of party members and stakeholders believe that he should naturally, you know, become flag bearer. You know, so we are hoping, he's our candidate, you know, so we are hoping that he will emerge as flag bearer. And even if he doesn't emerge, peradventure, I know that we still have other capable, you know, whoever will present will defeat Atiku. That's my point. Thank you.
Okay, well, he actually just kind of answered the question, because I was about to say, Tinubu's recent statement, some quarters have actually said, has actually slimmed down his chances, and they're looking at Oshibajo being the, flag bearer. So, but
You want me to talk about that?
Yeah, if you want to, you can actually.
Well, but
yeah.
maybe if you don't want to, because I can see that you may not want to, but the issue of some of the party chieftains actually were pushing for a northern presidency, because they believe that to match a northerner, you need a northerner, because that is the vote bank, that is where the votes are. What's your take on that?
Like, that's a flawed position, if I will say, if permit me to say, because if you look at Asiwaju Tinubu's campaign, those around him, you see that they are populated by northerners, core northerners. You look at Kashim Shettima, you look at Kashim Imam, you look at Nur Ribadu, a wide range of people, that are championing the campaign, Babacha Lawal and all that. They are key northerners, in the front line, for Asiwaju's campaign. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje has also been joining his campaign trail over the past few days. So you can see that Northerners are at home with our candidate. So, and these are the deciders, these are the influencers of where the votes will swing in their states. So we are confident that our candidate, Asiwaju Tinubu, will defeat Atiku Blue-Black, will defeat him. And yes, so that's the position. I don't think that we need to field a northern candidate to defeat Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar, Nigerians have seen what he has to offer. He has been a serial contestant, and we are presenting Asiwaju Tinubu that has the antecedent of being a visionary. Took over Lagos. I was born and bred in Lagos. I know how Lagos was pre-1999. Refuse reigned supreme. Lagos was had the epithet of one of the world's dirtiest cities, one of the dirtiest cities in the world before then. Crime, bank robbery, organized crime was a norm before 1999. Actually,
but beyond Asiwaju Tinubu,
yes,
your own party, a lot of people say you have, especially members of the opposition say that the APC has nothing to campaign with in the next round of election.
Well, that's totally not true. I'm not going to lie to you or say that we don't have challenges. We have challenges. Every country has challenges. If you look at the United States, how many mass shooting have we had in 2 weeks? If I put that to you, at least 3 or 4 mass shooting. Does that say that they don't have? Are we going to say that the security architecture is failing? Are we going to say that they are not a developed country? At their level, they are having that kind of mass shooting. They have the challenges. So what I'm saying is that government is a continuum. You have challenges. If challenges cease, then government should cease. So we took over power. We should know what was happening. You guys were you stay in Abuja. You know how bombs were coming off in Abuja. This day, Nyanya and some other places. We know how unsafe. Before you enter our churches and mosques, you have to be screened and frisked. Your body frisks before you enter, for metal objects, for bombs and all that. But for the past 7 years, we give God the glory. Abuja has been safe, and relatively the Northeast has been safe. We've substantially degraded the menace of Boko Haram. You get, we might have had, there are new contemporary security challenges, but I think the administration is tackling it head on. We've seen investment, massive investment in security, security hardware, and all that. We've seen a little rejig in security architecture and all that. So I feel that the next APC administration will take it a notch further to secure this country and address our challenges.
All right, now briefly, just before we, wrap up this discussion. Now, there's a saying that a prophet actually has no honor in his own home. Now, it's glaring that northern governors, have actually thrown their weight behind a southern, a southern, candidate. But what about the southern, governors? Are they throwing their weight, behind a southern, candidate as well?
I can assure you 100%. Why wouldn't you throw your weight behind your son or your indigene or somebody coming from your region? I can assure you 100% that southern governors, maybe with the exception of one, you can have in a family, you can have one. You cannot rule out a black sheep, like So, but it won't be significant enough to subtract from where the party is going to, where the region is going to. So I assure you of that.
Okay, I think with that we wrap up this discussion. Thank you very much, Shogun Chomori, APC stalwart, for joining us this morning, and we hope to have you another time.